Ask Reddit Americans, how do you feel about the fact that the stock market has lost $2 trillion in value today? I'm concerned, in my late 40s, grad school, white collar, but I volunteer at a local org with a lot of people in their 20s, and they're absolutely thrilled. Was on a 4 hours van ride with 8 young people from all walks of life this weekend. In addition to the stock market, they also hope home prices crash, etc. And many would rather get into a high-paying union/trade than earn a master's degree. It was eye-opening to say the least. My generation was basically, get as much formal education as possible, which will lead to the most hard-to-get jobs, which will lead to higher paychecks. That's not true or believed for many young people today. If nothing else, at least young people are more aware about taking on massive loads of student debt compared to earlier generations. Young people seem to want asset prices to crash since they don't own many assets, but they also have the time and energy to do jobs that people my age and older are too tired, unable, unwilling to do, like working high-paying HVAC in Phoenix. They also have arguably the most important resource, time. I think it's important to remind oneself that U.S. society isn't a monolith, and what 20s yos want, hope for, is very different from what 30/40/60ths yos want. Personally, I see more worldview gaps between ages/generations and sex, gender nowadays than race. I say that as a POC. Having said all of this, I think what young people don't realize is that a crash in asset prices, ESP housing, will just lead to corporations, high net worth individuals who can secure cheap debt buying up more of the country's housing stock, since many people who want to buy homes during a crash will be unemployed, unable to afford to buy them. My advice to some of them was just to work, network, and save while they're young. Networking is especially important nowadays, more so than good grades from school or a second major. If the WH admin would put more regulations over mortgage deductions for second homes, foreigners without green cards buying SFH, etc., I'd be all for that. But the real estate, realtor/construction lobby is strong and has its tentacles all over both parties. Regardless, the stock market should be a long-term investment vehicle based on risk-reward tolerance, not a day trading roulette table subject to emotions and political seasons. I'm guilty as charged. If you're investing regularly each month long-term, then the ups and downs shouldn't make you lose your mind. When things go south, you're investing at a discount. Phew, the U.S. stock market has been a roller coaster over the past several months, as well as several years. But it's still up about 50% from 2 years ago. That's still an insane return, and I didn't trust the Trump bump that occurred from November to February as something being sustainable. Living in Southeast Asia, many of my friends here wish they had invested in U.S. equities rather than regional equities/real estate over the past decade.